Perfect.
Okay.
Oh, look, and there's a beer. There's a beer now. I love when everything comes together.
Yeah.
At the last minute because like a half an hour ago,
Chaos.
I was like, I can't do the show. I just,
Call it off.
Just cancel it.
We'll be
But
back
thankfully, things have come together. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is episode number 180, and this is a weekly show. We talk about technology, computer parts, and other random stuff. Do it on Tuesday evenings at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time. We stream live to twitch.tv/awesomehardware the entire show. On YouTube, we split it up because it's a collaboration with my friend Kyle here. So first half's going to be on my channel, Paul's Hardware. Second half will be on Kyle's channel, Bitwit. And then the third half will also, the third part, which is the after party, will also be on Kyle's channel, at which point we will give shout outs to people who have made donation comments and also people who have bought stuff from our stores. Speaking of our stores, if you like our stuff and you want to buy our stuff, check out our stores. And I actually have a huge announcement in development for just many, many years now.
Many years in the making.
Well, over a year. It's just because it's mostly my fault.
What, did you make a CPU or something?
No, it took a long time. It went through a lot of different iterations, and I also sometimes go months and months between answering emails. Anyway, paulshardware.net is my store.
Fair enough.
This is the new design, which is the captive thumb screw.
What
do you think?
Is it a thumb screw in jail?
Yes, that it is, Kyle. That it is. The captive thumb screw. Show your friends and they'll be like, what is on your shirt? And you'll be like, it's a captive thumb screw, get it?
Duh.
Come on. So anyway, that's the new design. I hope you guys like it. It's available on several different items, a shirt, a hoodie, a few different shirts. Anyway, so buy that. All the other stuff also still available in the store, so check it out. Kyle's store is bitwit.tech/store, and he also has a wide arrangement of stuff, and it's all very good.
Nothing new on my side.
All very good things, but nothing new for Kyle. Yeah.
No funny punny shirts to speak of.
Well,
unfortunately,
it takes a while to develop those. You know.
Yeah.
I did want to give a shout out to the artist who developed that shirt. Her name is Britta. And you can find her on Facebook under Terror Bunny Studios.
I like the name.
Which is pretty awesome. She does some cool artwork there, so
cool.
Check it out. Anyway, thanks, Britta.
Beautiful.
Sorry I took so long to follow up on stuff, but she did a great job. All right,
nice.
Moving along. Quick word of warning, we occasionally use adult language on the show, so cover your ears.
Taxes.
Don't listen to anything else. And we also drink alcohol. Beer, typically. Feel free to join us if you're of age and drink responsibly, of course. Cheers. Thanks for joining us.
Mm-hmm. I need to unpack.
This is Arrogant Bastard, by the way.
This is Arrogant Bastard. It's very good.
Arrogant Bastard.
I need to find my glasses. I lost my glasses somewhere in the move.
Oh, no. Yeah, I was kind of thinking, like, what are these chintzy pieces of garbage?
They look a little too fancy for our taste.
They're kind of thin. Like, I feel like we're in danger of...
Right?
Adds an element of danger to the show today.
Be drinking wine now.
All right, let's talk some tech news. My half is probably going to be relatively short today because I've only got like four things to talk about. This one's kind of interesting though, somewhat unexpected for me, but Intel has now debuted this new specification called CXL 1.0 to be specific. Compute Express Link is what it stands for. And this is joining already sort of a small group of next generation host-to-device and device-to-device high-speed interconnects. And if you don't know what that is, like PCI Express, it's probably the one that you're most familiar with. Most motherboards right now use PCI Express Gen 3. We're expecting PCI Express Gen 4 later this year, probably on AMD motherboards, and we expect it probably from Intel as well once they launch their next gen of stuff. But this is actually kind of more tied in with PCIe Gen 5, which is why I thought it was also interesting and also kind of confusing. I'm sure there's going to be more on this coming out because this is a fairly new story. This is written up by Ian over at Anantech, by the way. It's been in development for 4 years, though, and it was supported by a consortium of 9 companies, including Alibaba, Cisco, Dell EMC, Facebook, Google, HPE, Huawei, Intel, and Microsoft.
It's quite a list.
Those are all very substantial companies. It's going to begin as a cache-coherent host-to-device interconnect, focusing on GPUs and FPGAs. And you guys might be aware that Intel is developing graphics cards. They've made no secret of that recently. They've even hired a few former AMD people who now work at Intel, turncoats, all of them. But the point being, Intel developing GPUs, also developing this interconnect. It just kind of makes you think like, why are they doing this? They're also using current PCIe 5.0 standards for physical connectivity and electrical standards. So the slot physically, if I'm reading this right, is going to be exactly the same as a PCIe slot. It's going to be wired up the same, but it's going to be different. It says it's an open standard, so that's usually good. The focus of CXL is to help accelerate AI, machine learning, media services, HPC, and cloud applications, which are all very important, especially to big companies, such as a consortium of companies that is all in cahoots to develop this. So I guess, you know, it's kind of a new thing that's out there. It's gonna play around with the other next-gen interconnects, such as NVLink, CCIX, and Gen Z that have come out in recent years. And we're not sure. The interesting thing the article points out is that some of the members of this consortium were also parts of other consortiums that developed stuff like Gen Z and whatnot. And there's statements from each company quoted in the article. The article's linked in the description, by the way. And they're all basically saying like, no, these aren't going to compete. They're gonna dovetail or overlap or whatever that means. So anyway. We'll keep an eye on this. I'm curious as far as like, obviously Intel's going to be on board, but you know, is this going to be something that affects the desktop graphics space? Probably at some point. Is it going to be something where like you can get an Intel motherboard that has PCI Express Gen 5 and CXL support for these new Intel graphics cards? That you plug them in there and it works CXL. If there's any kind of like, you know, intelligence with the design, and if they're using the same interconnects and everything, I would imagine there'd be some sort of interoperability there. So like you could also use a PCI Express graphics card in the same slot. But does that mean only Intel graphics cards are going to be able to take advantage of this standard? Is it going to have any advantage or disadvantage compared to just standard PCI Express Gen 5? All of these questions will remain questions because we do not have answers for them, but hopefully in the future.
Might give Intel motherboards an edge over AMD counterparts.
I mean, knowing Intel, it seems like the type of thing that they would use as a segmenting thing, because they're all about segmentation. Like
exactly.
If you want to play ball in this arena, you know, if you want to overclock your CPU, you got to get a K SKU and this motherboard, and you got to pay $50 more for each of them, or 20 or $30, depending on the generation. Oh my God.
Oh God.
Stop picking up coins, Kyle.
Panic. It's a Game Boy.
So, that's the Game Boy Star.
Put my Game Boy down.
It sounds like picking up a coin though, too, kind of.
Fair enough.
Anyway. So yeah, now you guys know that exists, and you're smarter because of it.
That's exciting. Hopefully.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for new standards, and if they're doing some magic in there to make things faster, or you know, make a real fancy interconnect, then cool. But you know, as long as they're not like, only we can use this, or So we'll have to see if that's something that AMD, Radeon, or NVIDIA are even interested in. But anyway, probably still too early to go down too far down the speculation path. So let's move on. Microsoft has been testing Android app mirroring on Windows 10. So how often have you been on your Windows PC and been like, hey, I have this app on my Android phone, and I sure would like to use it on my Windows PC. Wouldn't that be cool? Has that ever happened to you? Maybe it hasn't.
No.
But I imagine for some people it has.
I'm sure it does,
If for nothing else, then you know, you could look at it, what if you did phone videos and you wanted to record, and you just use a screen cap app for your phone, probably. But what if you wanted to record directly under your computer? Then you could do that. Anyway.
It opens up a lot of possibilities.
Point being, I barely read this story because you read it first and you made a bunch of notes for me. So Kyle, what can you tell us?
I mean, So I didn't realize that Paul had already snagged the story in the Google Doc. So I actually snagged it. I accidentally stole it and wrote all the notes for it. But
I don't mind.
Yeah,
it's fine with me.
I wish it would happen more often. Yeah, I mean it's pretty self-explanatory. It's a mirroring app. It's actually an app that already exists called Your App. Is it called
Your Phone app?
Your Phone
in Windows 10.
It's a weird name. Your Phone is the name of the app, and it's been letting people interact with their Android phones from any Windows 10 device. That functionality is being expanded now so that you get like full keyboard and mouse interfacing with a mirrored version of your phone on your desktop, on your Windows 10 desktop. It's kind of coincidental too that this article popped up because you follow Quinn, Snazzy Labs on Twitter.
Yes.
He just posted a tweet where he's like, this is what people are talking about when they say the Apple ecosystem's so cool. And he basically like had his phone connected to his computer, and then he wanted to like tweet from his desktop. He wanted to tweet something like a picture that was on his phone, and it just automatically recognized that there were photos on his phone. He just like tapped share on his phone, and it automatically uploaded it to his account, which is pretty cool considering that like I generally have to email myself a photo from my phone. If I want to like tweet that from my desktop for whatever reason.
Do you have to, or is that just a way you know how to do it, and so that's just the way you've used every time and not explored other ways to possibly do it? That's me. And I say that because that's
no, absolutely. What I'm saying though is like it is what it is. Like you have to find other third-party solutions to make that happen. Whereas with Quinn's example, it's all taking place within the same ecosystem. This seems to be, this article is talking about a solution that's potentially a step in that direction to sort of make the whole process a bit more seamless. Granted, you have to have Android, obviously, and now that Windows phones are out, Android's pretty much the only thing supported at the moment, but I could see a lot of uses for this. I personally don't have many, but just the fact that you could, I think it would be useful for, like you said, like phone reviewers, definitely. Mm-hmm. Like being able to just interface with your phone with a mouse or a keyboard or like use OBS to capture your phone screen as opposed to some Google Play app or whatever it is. So there are possibilities there. I'm sure people will do some fun stuff with it. But you have to have Bluetooth with low energy peripheral mode, which I'm not too familiar with. Okay. You can check the support. You can check to see if your system supports it by right-clicking the Start menu, going to your device manager, and then expanding the Bluetooth option and checking under Properties for Bluetooth radio. You have to look for Bluetooth radio supports low energy peripheral role. I don't even know if any of my systems support that. I don't know what hardware is required, if that's just like built into Bluetooth 4.0 or something, or I don't know what qualifies as.
I don't know specifically, but most motherboards will have like a Wi-Fi Bluetooth combo adapter.
Would that?
And as long as if it's a relatively recent one, the Bluetooth standards that update over time, it's probably a mode that's integrated and it's part of one of those Bluetooth standard updates.
So maybe it's just like older versions of Bluetooth that might not have it.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
So.
Okay. And then Microsoft's also recommending build 18335 Plus to run the feature.
Cell says that Bluetooth 4.0 started at low power spec.
Okay. Yeah. So if you have anything.
That sounds reasonable to me.
Yep.
Cell would never lie.
Cell's always right.
That's
why we hired him.
Practically omnipotent.
All right, so that's pretty much it. Why does it feel like I took over your site? No,
that's fine. Like, that's exactly what I was planning to do right there. Because, I mean, all the others, like I said, half hour before the show today, I was very unprepared.
No, it's fair enough.
So that's the one story I was like, all right, Kyle's got me on that one. It's still cool.
Were you like taking notes for other stories while I was rattling off that?
No, everything else is.
Okay.
Got superb notes.
You're super prepared from this point on.
Speaking of superb notes, WCCF Tech should fix the edge of their WCCF Tech. Put like the tiniest gap, like right on the left side of your website. Like there's almost no space between.
Have you ever heard of a margin?
Like a margin, that would be cool.
Please.
Maybe it's an aesthetic thing.
No, that looks aesthetically terrible.
Anyway, Alessio Palumbo. I'm not familiar with Alessio, but NVIDIA is ending driver support for 3D vision.
Wait,
I expected you to break down in tears.
They hadn't already ended it?
No, they're ending.
Who is still using this?
I have a 3D vision set of glasses.
But are you using them?
That I bought on a lark from a Newegg warehouse sale that I've never taken out of the box. But the point is, I have them, and maybe I would have wanted to try them out in the future.
I remember when an NVIDIA rep came to our studio at Newegg and showed us the technology for the first time.
They were like, here, this
one
is
of the Batman games.
This is the future.
One of the Batman games with two faces, like flipping the coin. You get to see the coin like almost like it flipped into your eye and it goes back. You're like, whoa, with the 3D glasses and stuff. Super cool. Yeah. And that was the first and last time I ever heard.
See?
I ever experienced
so many
3D
people
vision.
have had that experience that you've had, and now it's being snuffed out by NVIDIA because apparently it sucks and no one uses it. After driver release 4.18, which is coming out in April 2019, 3D vision will no longer be supported. Now, I don't know if this means that you're going to need to use an older driver in order to use 3D vision at all, or if it just means they're ending future support for further games and everything. The way they have supported it is they have kind of a standard driver software package that game developers can work with to, either a game developer can work with it, or they can just you can just turn it on in the game. But if the game hasn't had some sort of ad hoc support with the driver, which is rare, then you end up getting artifacts and stuff like that for the game itself. So that's been an issue. What else? Oh yeah, prolonged use often leads to headaches. Kind of sucks. And then
who knew? 3D glasses.
And then the game performance itself is halved because it's got to render two for each eye.
Yeah.
So it's a similar situation to VR, but yeah. So all of that sucks. But in case you're at all interested in the history of this fine technology, it was originally introduced by NVIDIA back in 2008. You got a pair of LC shutter glasses, which you can see in this stylized image here. The glasses don't actually show, a car driving out of the side.
Driving out of the side of your head.
That's just to make it look cooler than it actually is. But yeah, there was also an infrared emitter device that went on the monitor. One of my monitors that I have is a high refresh rate monitor with an integrated NVIDIA emitter for 3D vision.
I have one too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I've never used for 3D
Neither
vision
have I.
Before, but that's why it exists.
That's the other thing is
you had to have a high refresh rate display, 120 hertz or above, so it could do 60 hertz per eye.
Anyone using 3D vision, a 3D vision capable monitor, I mean, didn't they stop making 3D vision capable monitors years ago?
When you get just the frames, they come with an emitter.
Okay.
So
does your monitor also need to have?
Your monitor just needs to have specs that meet the standard. It's 120 hertz refresh rate or above.
Okay.
And I don't know if there's any other. There are some CRT monitors and some DLP projectors that also work with it. But yeah, there is a standalone emitter that you can use it with.
Gotcha.
So anyway. But who cares about all that because it's being canceled.
Sayonara.
Now I will just have my glasses to use for skits and stuff for because they kind of
for skits.
Yeah, they're basically now like a aesthetic accessory for me.
Oh.
Because they're kind of big and bulky and they kind of have an 80s future look.
Yeah,
slightly.
Definitely.
So
they weren't the most comfortable. I remember.
Yeah. Anyway.
Not good for prolonged gaming sessions.
So long, 3D vision. RIP. Speaking of RIP,
Riddance.
Windows 7. RIP Windows 7. Windows 7 is not dead yet. It's dead soon, though. The 5-year extended support period for Windows 7 will be ending January 14th, 2020.
This sounds like you could have easily spun these last two stories into a new segment.
I could have.
It's called Death.
If I had another hour to do show prep, I probably would have had better show prep.
Oh, all the missed opportunities.
It's fine. It's fine.
Life is full of regrets.
Yeah, and that just gives us, the last time we did the show here, we were trying to reset, to a very low standard of production quality and stuff. So
yeah. Oh yeah.
This is a big step up.
Absolutely.
And that's.
Look at how much better we are.
I'm sure everyone watching agrees.
How much better we are now.
So yeah. If you're one of those diehard Windows 7 users who anytime people's like, oh, my Windows 10 automatically restarted on me, or like, oh, my Windows 10 is sending telemetry, or Jerry was ranting today about Windows 10 sending a bunch of data packets to Microsoft.
Windows 10 spying on my poop naps.
Point being, all you Windows 7 elitists will now be brought into the fold with the rest of us, because your options are going to be paying for 3 more years of support, which appears to only be available to organizations. So that's possible, because there's lots of companies that, they stick with what works. Yep. So that's going to be possible for some people, but for most, you're either going to have to deal with using an operating system that's no longer getting security updates, which just isn't a good idea. Or, you got Windows 8 or 8.1 or 8, what did they end up calling Windows 8 afterwards?
Windows 8. No one remembers because it wasn't worth remembering.
Windows 8, after it was updated for like a year, actually became fairly tolerable. But then, of course, there's Windows 10, or you could install Linux or something like that. That'd be fun. But that's just a whole
other rabbit hole.
It's a whole to figure out how to be a super user and stuff like that.
I have to watch a lot of Wendell videos.
To warn you, to let you know that this terrible day is coming, you're going to start seeing pop-ups on your Windows 7 computer, letting you know that this support period is ending. It will be a courtesy reminder telling you security updates will cease, and also that Windows 10 is a thing that exists, in case you're interested in upgrading. Microsoft promises that the message will only appear a handful of times, quote unquote, just nice and vague, during 2019, and that there will be a do not notify me again checkbox that will definitely suppress any future messages.
I don't believe that for a second.
Definitely and completely.
You ever get that pop-up for Windows 10 that says, whenever you launch a game, that says, it looks like some of your apps are blurry. Click here to fix apps that are blurry.
Yeah, do you know how to actually make it stop doing that?
I just got it recently, so I haven't looked into it. But
okay.
What's the? Because when you say do not notify me again, it still notifies.
Because you want to actually pull up this thing in order to go in there and tell it what to do.
That thing.
Because I've had that happen to me a bunch of times, and it's really annoying.
I love how that.
It's because the game you're loading is changing the resolution.
Right.
And that pop-up is meant so that if you change the resolution to a non-native resolution, or you're just changing resolutions in general, it's got some stupid Windows wizard thing that's supposed to help make stuff look not blurry, I guess. But just let me change the resolution, Windows. I know.
Yeah. It's being too invasive.
All right. Speaking of other segments, right? I have one more segment. Wait, are you doing hot and heavy hardware?
No.
You're not?
No.
Oh. You're doing games report?
I'm just doing Pimp My PC and news.
I'm going to change this. Changing this to...
Oh yeah, I forgot to switch that over to you.
We don't have an Ask the Audience here?
Really?
No. We've only done that in my place.
Are you serious?
All right, we're just going to go with Choose the Cupcake. Choose the Cupcake.
Same thing.
Technically, this is Ask the Audience. I have a single question to ask you guys.
Oh.
So we're going to poll you guys. Kyle and I will ourselves guess on which answer is going to win. And honestly, this is something that I'm curious to know the answer to. So okay. Hopefully we can get some links posted in chat. Wait, I can probably help with that. There we go. Some straw poll linkage right there. Thank you, Sel, for the help. And here's the question. What are you waiting for? And specifically when it comes to PC building. Because I know there's a lot of people who are like, anytime you talk about something new, they're like, I'm going to pass on this. I'm waiting for this. So anyone who's out there who's like waiting to build a new computer, waiting to do a significant upgrade on their existing computer, what are you waiting for?
The last option is so dark.
Well, I mean, you could figure that can be generically applied to, getting money randomly that you didn't You didn't earn, I guess. It was just a windfall of
Lottery.
some sort.
Waiting for the lottery to strike.
So I put my presumptive things that people might be waiting for. So we got Navi from Radeon. So
Sure.
New AMD Radeon GPUs should be coming out. And this is not going to be Vega 7 nanometer. This is going to be Navi designed specifically for 7 nanometer, and hopefully that'll be good.
Yeah.
7 nanometer CPUs from AMD. Those should be coming supposedly later this year. We're looking Computex timeframe. We got 10 nanometer CPUs from Intel. It's been waiting long enough for that.
Yeah.
Affordable GPUs from NVIDIA, because NVIDIA has launched new GPUs, this year and last, but the price ranges have been pretty astronomical, especially if you want something high end. And then, of course, it might just be you don't have the money, so maybe you just need more money. And when I originally conceptualized this question, I had a couple other ideas in my head, but I forgot to put them on there. It doesn't matter. So
This is a tough one.
It is tough.
They're all pretty.
That's why it's such a good question.
I'm torn between two of them, I think. Do I have to go first, or do you go
You
first?
should go first. I made up the question.
All right.
It's like I cut, you choose.
Fuck you. All right. I'm going to say... it's a double-edged sword, but I'm going to say Navi from Radeon.
Okay. Why?
Because NVIDIA needs it. Because NVIDIA is dominating, they've been dominating the GPU space for far too long, at least in the mid to high-end space. And I think there's the least amount of competition when it comes to graphics cards. So I just want what's good for the consumer, because what's good for the consumer is obviously good for me. And I would like to see AMD personally kill it in the GPU side of things, like they have been with CPU. I'm not as excited for 7 nanometer AMD because I already kind of have confidence that I feel like it's easier to predict or project how that's going to land. Navi is going to be the thing that's either going to be a total flop or exactly what the community needs. So I think it's more exciting to see which way the coin will fall with that. And 10 nanometer CPUs from Intel, I mean, Intel's already at the top of their game when it comes to CPU performance. Obviously, their pricing and stuff doesn't compare with AMD, like price performance and whatnot. But yeah, I want to see more GPUs. So I'm going to say Navi.
All right, that's reasonable. Since I got to pick one, I'm going to go with 10 nanometer CPUs from Intel, and that's just because I wanted to pick one that probably isn't going to be the winner. But hear me out here. 10 nanometer CPUs from Intel. Lots of anticipation. People could have said the same thing 2 years ago. I'm waiting for these 10 nanometer CPUs that Intel's talking about to come out. Then I will upgrade and build a new computer. So maybe there are people who have been waiting that long. So that's one group. But then you've also got, like you said, the fact that Intel CPUs, simply put, if you're looking at single core performance and if you're looking at the best gaming performance, that's what you go with. That's why Intel is still comfortable selling a 9900K for over $500 and so forth. But if you look at the last few generations of Intel, going from the 6000 series to the 7000 series to the 8000 series to the 9000 series, all on LGA 1151, all on 14 nanometer, and all clock for clock, if you put them at the same clock speed, they're the same performance. They've gotten more clock speed out of it. They made a few other changes by adding, making like a soldered IHS and for the newest ones and everything. But you still haven't seen that boost from microarchitecture upgrade, because they've still just been doing refinements of something that they've been working with for quite some time now. So that, combined with the fact that 10 nanometer has been, cooking for so long, maybe means that there's a lot of people anticipating that we might actually see a decent jump when it comes to actual performance at the same clock speed. That's the excuse I came up with in my head for backing up my decision.
I will say I would love for the thing that I look forward to most with 10 nanometer Intel is just better efficiency and like lower temperatures, so I could cram faster gaming CPUs into like super tiny small form factor systems. Because anytime that's like an objective of mine, like I always look to Ryzen first because it's just way easier to cool. You know, the temperature per cores or whatever. Just forget about it with a 14 nanometer Intel chip. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that.
All right. Let's see what the audience said.
Let's see it.
I'm going to vote for a rich relative to leave and die and leave you money.
Of course.
7 nanometer. Wow, both of us were wrong.
Holy moly.
I picked the loser.
Damn. So 7
Only
nanometer
38.
Ryzen.
Nobody cares about that. Lots of people waiting for those 7 nanometer CPUs from AMD. I will say,
Of course.
I should have picked that because then I would have won.
Yeah.
But
You dominated me.
I think there's also a lot of people who are excited about the form factor combined with the core count. Like if you really can, on AM4, get a 16-core, 32-thread CPU, as is anticipated, with 2 Ryzen dies on it, that's pretty nice.
That's awesome.
And then, of course, lots of people waiting for money.
Yeah.
The more people interested in just NVIDIA to bring their prices down than actual Navi. So you can tell the sort of damper that I feel like the last few AMD Radeon GPU launches have kind of put on people.
Mm-hmm.
So that's sad. But we do need that. We do need some more of that. So anyway.
Sure.
All right. That's all I got for my half.
GG.
So thank you guys all for watching. Thank you all for those of you who have maybe left donation comments. Again, we will be reading those and responding to them in the after party. And I'm totally going to update my description so it has a link to the after party too. But I'll do that once Kyle's half starts,
Yes.
which is also linked in the description. So click on that if you're watching on YouTube. We'll be starting there in just a moment. If you're on Twitch, stay right where you are.
Just a moment.
And we'll be right back. Thanks for watching, guys.
Just a
Thumbs
moment.
up. Bye-bye.
Bye.